So let's look at the first of our finishing strategies that we can do, and one that's probably familiar to most people who have done some sort of milling work. And various programs, this option is called different things, something like cut from boundary curves or mill within close curve, something like that. In Jewelry Cam, it's called parallel cuts. What we do is we use a closed curve, and within this closed curve we capture an area that we want to have milled. So in this case I used silhouette command and then offset a little bit beyond the outline of the model, and I'm gonna have this closed curve selected, click on add new custom operation and then parallel cuts. And then here within the settings we have a couple of options: step size, as always, orientation, and a few other options that I will get to in a second. So if we calculate this and have a look at it, you'll see right away by the color, or if you go to the simulator, that Jewelry Cam really tries to be a smart program specifically for the jewelry, specifically for the wax cutting, meaning that by default, if you're cutting it across in a horizontal fashion or across the x-axis, if you will, it will try its best to start at the point furthest away from the chuck, from your holder, and work its way towards the base. That's the strongest way, or it's the most likely way to avoid resonance and shaking and potential breaks. We always want to start from the back, furthest end, and then work our way towards the front. And Jewelry Cam certainly tries to do that, in as far as it's able to figure out which is further away and which is closer. Of course, if for some reason you're insistent on starting here and going up this way, you're able to reverse the toolpath by checking this reverse TP checkbox and clicking apply. Or alternatively, you can have the toolpath orientation this way, meaning along the y-axis rather than the x. And as usual, click apply, and you will see that change in simulator and in your Rhino window. So this is our same toolpath but done in the y. There are a few additional options that are kind of somewhat hidden beneath here in the settings screen. One is the ability to change the boundary curve. So for example, let's say now you decide that you want to exclude one ray of the star. So we're just going to create an additional curve here using curve boolean there. And I want to transfer this operation to now do just a segment. So all I have to do is click change boundary curve and recalculate. And now we're no longer calculating this part, so it's only covering the area up to here. Alternatively, sometimes there is a need to prevent the toolpaths from waterfalling kind of off of the model and not touching certain areas. So, for example, if I very quickly make a surface by using planar surface command and position it, say right around this height, you'll see that previously our toolpaths were able to go beyond this, but now we have this extra surface. We select it and specify it as an additional check surface. And as before, click apply. You can now hide the surface. It doesn't really matter. As long as you don't delete it, it will still be calculated. And when you calculate your toolpath, you'll see that we're not going beyond our boundary. Let me show this hidden surface again. There it is. We're going to this point, but no more. So, pretty handy option, and sometimes essential one. So now if we want to carve the other side of the star, as before, we change our construction plane. So let's go to the back, And we can use our existing curve that we have for this side, create another parallel cuts operation, and click calculate. Now both of our sides are covered and both are following the same boundary curve. This is in essence your parallel cuts operation, and as you have probably surmised, your construction plane will determine the angle of approach of your bit. So for example, if you want to cut this side of the ring, then you would point your construction plane to be reflected this way in the top view. You would provide an area to cut, for example like so. Just select this, and now when you specify parallel cuts and calculate it, this will make the bit come down like so and cut it here. So let me just show it to you briefly in the simulator. And as before, set this transparent. So first operation was from the top, second was from the bottom, and the third was from the side. And as those of you who have worked with construction planes know, there are many different ways to set these. You're not limited just to the various strict directions. You can also set at a specific angle, say like this, and use your construction plane view from view and specify whatever your desired shape is and be able to cut this way. You don't have to worry yourself about what angle this is. MADCAM, I believe, requires a specification of certain angles. I know that RhinoCam certainly does. Here, what you see is more or less what you get. So if you built your construction plane view this way and selected this curve and specified it in your strategy, JewelryCam will adjust where it needs to adjust so that it's positioned exactly at where it should be. So here you see our angles were 66 degrees and 57 degrees up, and it was able to reach that area exactly how you're looking at it through your C-plane world, like so. And that concludes the lesson on parallel cuts.